Hi, I'm James Shillinglaw, and I'm here today with a familiar face. We've interviewed her in the past, Michelle Buttigieg, who is the representative North America for Malta Tourism Authority. And I'm particularly happy to be interviewing Michelle here because this year she finally got me to go to Malta, and I had a blast. I had a wonderful time. It's now become my favorite Mediterranean island, to be honest with you. Maybe favorite island, to be honest with you, because there's so much to do, so many things to experience there. And we're going to talk to Michelle about, basically what's going on that island. So all our travel advisors out there can start selling it even more than they hopefully are already doing. It's an amazing place. And we're going to find out about all that and more here on Insider Travel Report. Now, Michelle, first of all, let's talk about all this. I mean, the experience of Malta through accommodations, gastronomy, curated experiences. There's so much to do and see. And I guess I'll start with the first thing. We all want to know, where are we going to stay? Let's talk about the wide variety of hotels and resorts you have on the island. And you got some new ones that are coming in, too. And I just saw one yesterday, actually, that new hotel chains entering the market. So where can we stay? Where can our advisors book their clients?
Well, thank you, James, for having me. It's always lovely to be here and talking to your audience. And I'm so happy that you made it to Malta with the picture behind you of King's Landing. So it's always exciting to see. Yes, where do you stay in Malta? Well, we have all types of accommodation, from the bigger chains to the smaller boutique hotels. You can actually find everything. We're very excited, though, with some of the new hotels coming in. A part of the usual, like leading hotels, the Phoenicia, we have two additional hotels that are Virtuoso, which is the Inyala and the Phoenicia, together with the Intercontinental. We have some really good new ones coming in, and one of them is the Me by Malia, the Me Malta. We're expecting that to open spring of 2024. It's going to be an amazing property with 140 rooms and suites and 48 residences. So it's kind of going to put the level up to the hotel thing. We have a Barcelo Fortina Malta opening up.
Yeah, that just happened, right?
Yeah, 5-star hotel. It's got beautiful views of the Mediterranean and Valletta, this Valletta city. That one has about 183 rooms, all with terraces. So you're like on the water, really beautiful. With a new Hilton opening up June 2024, that's going to have around 480 rooms. So even the amount of rooms is kind of really adding up. I was privileged to see a hotel in Malta this summer, which is called Odyssey, opened up this year, 600 rooms. In a place called Aura, which is also next to the water. Beautiful product, nice spacious rooms, beautiful lounges, beautiful amenities. So the infrastructure of properties, there's a choice for everyone. And let us not forget about the small palazzos. You've seen that Malta is very historic, and it has a lot of palazzos that are still intact. Some of these palazzos are turned into small boutique hotels, mostly found in Valletta and the Three Cities, but just learned of a new one called Palazzo Castagna, which is in a small village close to Valletta called Ascia. 20 rooms in the village piazza. Beautiful murals on the wall, just intact as it was. So the experience, depending what your client is looking for, there's a little bit of everything.
Well, I know in the city that's right behind me, Medina, I didn't stay there, but I had a wonderful dinner at one of those old palazzos. And then we found another wonderful little boutique hotel that had just opened. So they're coming all fast and furious all around, and
They are.
They're wonderful resorts. I stayed in the Phoenician, right near the wall, and I stayed in the Corinthia. Also beautiful hotel, famed hotel there. But you can get all kinds of different accommodations here at all different levels, and they really are fantastic.
They are. You're living in history, basically. The one you mentioned in Medina is the Shara Lodge.
That's it. Yeah.
Chateau.
Yeah. Well, and again, we were talking
Beautiful.
about it. You can stay in the place where Game of Thrones was filmed in part.
Indeed.
It's great.
Indeed.
Now let's move, because also it's important. It's now even easier to get to Malta. Can you talk about some of the ways travelers can get there, including I think some new connectivity recently with I believe with Emirates, right?
Yes. So it's pretty easy to get to Malta through any major hub in Europe, depending on what your client or what you prefer to fly. But yes, we're very excited about the new code share through Milan with Emirates. So you fly into Milan and then Milan Malpensa and then Milan Malpensa to Malta. So that's pretty easy, so close once you're in Europe and really well connected. Still waiting on the direct flight.
Yeah, that would be great.
Talks are ongoing and hopefully will be soon.
Well, you deserve a direct flight. It really is a destination that needs one. I guess I went when I went through Frankfurt, which was easy to get to, and then taking Air Malta, I think from
yes,
Frankfurt.
It was.
So that was fine too. Now let's talk a little bit about. You got another thing about this. You've got a wide variety of sort of sustainable tourism attractions, culture, history. Let's talk about some of the places that travelers absolutely must visit that are both sustainable, historic, and cultural.
So yeah, James, when you're there, you saw it's an open air museum. Wherever you go, where each corner has a story behind it. Each building has a story. Each wall has a story behind it. But it's important that when you're there, you're kind of, experience the curated experiences, whether in any niche market that you are interested. Some of the most interesting one I had the privilege, and I'm not sure if you went, is the Valletta Underground. So there's this underground tour that takes you under Valletta. Valletta was built by the Knights,
right?
And it's so mysterious. There's so adventure down there. You'll see how it was used during World War II. You'll see how it was used during the sieges through the Knights. It's pretty amazing experiences. Another great experience that I like to talk about things I experience, and every year I have a list. Is the underground archaeological park. And it's pretty amazing because it's kind of like the first of its kind. And it's kind of like technical for divers to explore what's under the water. In Malta, the diving experience is as exciting as it is when you are on ground. There's so much to see. You have shipwrecks dating back from the Phoenicians all the way to World War II, of course, with some beautiful colors and caves and fish and everything. So even the diving experience is pretty amazing, and they do a good job in showcasing it. A lot of like farm to table experiences. Mm-hmm. You could visit like a perfumery. So this artist, I call him, he's a perfumist, Maltese, has taken over a nun's convent in Valletta. And you can go in there and he creates with you your own perfume. It's incredible experience right into the heart of Valletta. And of course, you have the wineries and the olive groves that you could go to. And then something really special, talking about gastronomy, is you could experience dining like the Knights of Malta used to. And it's called Taste History.
Wow.
It's organized by the Maritime Museum, Heritage Malta, an amazing curator who's so full of information.
Yeah, we actually interviewed him before the museum is open. Now I got to go back, and now that it's open, right?
I know. So you interviewed Liam.
Yeah.
And isn't he like so animating?
He knows everything. He knows everything about Malta.
Oh my God. And you're sitting there, you're tasting this menu, and you would say, how do they know? They know, because the Knights of Malta has one of the vastest documented library in the world. We were very lucky. We never experienced any floods or fires in our history. So we still have documentation. And today I've learned actually something interesting, that there's an American university who has taken over documenting, digitalizing the Knights of Malta history.
That's
so
amazing.
they're at the moment in Malta. Can you imagine? So everything's going to be digital which is good in case something happens and we lose these documents dating back into the 1500s.
Well, it was an amazing, and you were mentioning the tunnels. I did go to some of the tunnels, the places under Valletta where the British military were based to run the war in the Mediterranean during World War
Yes.
II. Amazing, amazing. I just really
Incredible.
love that. So I got that part of it. I didn't. There's probably more I missed. And then you were talking
Yeah.
about farm to table and stuff. It took me to an amazing winery. Absolutely stunning. The wine was incredible. You guys got to export a little of that. I know you don't want to drink it yourself, but
we don't have enough.
we don't have enough. I tried to do my part to drink a little bit more there, but it was amazing wine and a great winery. And then you're talking about Valletta. The Cathedral, St. John Cathedral, is just an amazing place, amazing artist.
Caravaggio.
Caravaggio, incredible there, and that whole town. I could spend a long time. I didn't spend enough time there. There's so many things to do and see. That's why I did 4 days there, and
you have to come back.
You gave me a taste, and now I want to go back because there's so much to see and do. Now let's talk about. We started talking about food, and that got me hungry. So it is a great culinary destination, and I know that 10-course tasting menu up in Medina that I had, and a few other things that I was lucky enough to do. What are some of the dining options available? I know you have some Michelin-starred restaurants and things like that, right?
We do indeed. Well, with a rich history and culture comes a very rich gastronomy as well. You can taste basically a little bit from all the civilizations that passed through. People ask, what is a typical Maltese cuisine? Well, it's really a mix of Mediterranean cuisine. Of course, we're surrounded by the water, so we have great fish dishes. But we have a little bit of North African, taste spice in there. So it's kind of a very intricate taste. And yes, experiences whilst dining. We do have Michelin star restaurants. You dined at the Mondion,
right,
which is located in Medina, the city behind you,
with a wonderful view of the valley
160
below.
degrees.
Yeah, it was great, and the food was excellent. It was a 10-course tasting menu with wine, by the way. Wine pairing. That was an interesting meal to get back from, but that was okay. That was
yes.
I really enjoyed it, and there's so many other experiences like that you can have.
We do.
Do you remember how many Michelin-starred restaurants you have there?
We have 6 now,
oh, wow.
And one of them is the Ion, which is found at the Iniala Hotel in Valletta, overlooking it's on top of the Santa Barbara bastions, overlooking the city. Incredible. That menu, I had the privilege of dining there this summer. It kind of showcases, and most of these menus, which I really appreciate, because it showcases the local cuisine.
Yeah.
Whether it's a little bit of fusion in there, but it's very farm to table. There's a story. The menu tells you the story. It tells you that the cheese comes from this locale. The wine that you're drinking comes from another locale. We're using Goziton salt, and all those flavors that you really take with you. Taste is a very strong sense, and you really kind of taste the history. You taste, how the people live. So, and then you can really dine in a local piazza, eating the Maltese pastizzi with a cup of tea, very British, that little snack during the day. And you really live like a local. You have no choice.
Well, I got to experience that, and you don't have to convince me. It was an amazing. I was perhaps a little surprised that the food was as good as it was, and also that it was sourced locally, because you think, oh, it's an island, they may not have a lot of farms. You have a lot of farms. You have a lot of places where you can source. Obviously, you have vineyards, and you have a lot of things going on the island, and you can just use it. It was an amazing experience, I got to tell you. So if you're going to send your clients to Malta, make sure they do a little eating, because
a lot of eating.
A great place. Now, I want to talk a little bit about it, because Malta is also really a destination of festivals and events. I don't think as a week goes by when I'm not getting a press release from you on something that's going to come up. Can you talk a little bit about some of the upcoming festivals and events this winter?
Yeah, well, we're an all year round destination. So we are also people that like to be outside, and we are blessed with good weather. So I think all those components, and we're always celebrating something, as you said. We have some, but fall and winter is actually exciting too.
Mhm.
Of course, summer is exciting because you have all the fiestas and the village festas and all the patron saint and all the fireworks. Winter is equally exciting with some really good festivals. We have the Rolex Middle Sea race coming up that starts in the Grand Harbor, and you've seen the Grand Harbor.
Oh, yeah. No, it's amazing.
You know, it's not called Grand for nothing.
Well, one of the most beautiful harbors I can imagine. It just
incredible.
Yeah, and plus you to see a sailing race out of there is going to be pretty spectacular.
Incredible. Yeah. That's in October. Then we have the Three Palaces Festival. That's early. It's like an opera and music festival that's in November. Festival Mediterranean, which is also in October. Joseph Calleja, which is the Maltese tenor, very famous here in North America and in the world. He has a Christmas concert coming up in November, I believe, which I really would have loved to be there for. Mm-hmm. You have Fairyland, which is a Christmas kind of fair all throughout January. Of course, then February, we have the big carnival. We're big carnival people. So leading us into the religious season of Easter and Lent. La Valette Marathon. There's a lot of marathons that happens throughout the year. The La Valette Marathon is in March. And we have a lot of runners globally attending to these marathons. And then, James, I don't know if I told you about this, or if you know about this, but from March to May 2024, Malta's hosting the Biennale Art Festival.
Oh, wow.
So you know how it's usually in Venice,
yeah.
Malta's hosting it for 2024.
Wow,
so that's
super.
We're super excited because what's going to happen is all these global artists are going to be in Malta, and we're using our Heritage Malta sites. So it could be in Valletta, in these beautiful palaces, at the megalithic temples. So all the Heritage Malta sites are being used. And that's from March to May 2024.
No, that's amazing. And of course, you do always have great music.
We do the Baroque
opera.
Festival.
You got pop singers coming in. And they're all usually in outdoor concerts, and it's just an amazing place to go hear some music. And there's always something going on. So I missed that myself because I was busy trying to. You had me busy going all over to Gozo, the other island that people often forget about, which is the Quiet Island. I really love that island too.
Equally beautiful, yes.
It is beautiful, absolutely stupendous, and I did it. I had 4 days to play with, and I filled them in pretty good. So next time I have to go hear some music as well. Now let's talk a little bit about because you mentioned earlier, the yacht racing and things like that, but you are a big kind of yachting and cruise destination. Valletta is a major port of call increasingly. Can you talk a little bit about Malta as a great place to visit on a yachting vacation or a cruise vacation?
For sure. So as you said, Malta, the Port of Valletta is found in many itineraries, whether it's part of an itinerary or a pre and post destination. We have a lot of cruise ships that pass through. As you saw, the harbor is very well equipped, right. And it's kind of away from, it's in the city, but it's the way it is built. The city is fortified, so it's higher up, and the cruise port is kind of low on the water.
Yeah, I saw that.
So when the cruise ships come in, they have to take this elevator that takes you into the city. Right. Or a lot of them go on itineraries all around the islands. The islands are small, so you can do pretty exciting itineraries even if you're there for one day. We find that a lot of people come back. But yachting is really big in Malta. We have marinas we have one marina that is equipped for super yachts. So we get a lot of super yachts in throughout the year, especially in summer. And then we have other marinas for any other yacht that comes in. But yes, it's a very popular yacht destination. And a lot of North Americans that yacht around the Mediterranean in summer end up in Malta some way or the other.
Now, oddly enough, in this topic, I somehow somebody jotted down a note about a Maltese Falcon.
Yes, it's a
So, talk
super.
about that, because I mean I'm an old movie buff, and I heard that, and I what the heck is that? I mean, you obviously it was supposedly some statue, the Knights of Malta, was all jewel encrusted, and of course, as we know, it was a bunch of lead in the movie, but that's another, because it wasn't the real Falcon. But anyway,
No,
what do you have? What do you have that?
well, this Maltese Falcon in particular is a super yacht. So it
Ah,
was, yeah, it's a super yacht. It was in Malta recently. We did a partnership with them, and it's incredible amenities where you could rent this yacht and sail around the Mediterranean. It's just simply an amazing. I don't know what to call it, a yacht, but more than a yacht.
it's a giant, almost like a small cruise ship, and so
It's like a hotel. It's like a whatever you want to call it. Yeah, the market for that for that niche market is pretty increasing
I'm
with
sure.
the well-equipped marinas and all.
Yeah, well, now you just convinced me. I said, well, why worry about a statue when you can get a yacht? I mean,
You know,
that would
why
be my
worry about
real.
a falcon?
Humphrey Bogart was looking for the wrong thing. That was it.
He was indeed. He was
But you
indeed.
should have been looking for the Maltese Falcon, the yacht. Now, next, almost finally here, let's talk about Malta as a great place to book meetings and incentives. Tell us a little bit about those opportunities you have in the market.
Well, yes, we actually, James just came back from IMEX America, which was amazing and really well attended this year, as always. Malta's ideal for the MICE business, and our MICE business is increasing. A great destination for incentives, being that it's small island, an itinerary could be so rich, and you could do so much in a short period of time without having to go from taking so much time in going from one place to the other. The incentive itineraries are usually different from a leisure itinerary,
Right.
where there's things to be done, there's a lot of things to do. So ideal for and the ideas for itinerary for incentives are incredible, as you saw. You could be on a boat, on a yacht, cruising around the islands, to being, to having this setup on overlooking the Grand Harbor,
Sure.
the Upper Baraka Garden. I've seen some amazing setups for meetings. We have 5 main conference meetings. 5 main. I say there's all the hotels are equipped, but the bigger ones are the Hilton, the Mediterranean Conference Center, which used to be the Knights Hospital in Valletta, the Intercontinental. So a lot of the hotels have amenities as well. The fairgrounds is one of our biggest in Malta, where it can host even association meetings. And again, you're in a smaller area, transportation, food, you're definitely mingling business and pleasure while you're there. So it's gaining a lot of momentum. Even
Well,
with this market.
I know one of them clearly. The one I went to the winery there was set up. You could have a real fun meeting, going wine tastings, and have a pretty big group. And the other one, it's your brewery, your beer. There's
Yes.
an amazing place that has lots of meeting space there. And I can't remember the name of the beer. I should.
The
But,
Chisk, the Parsons.
yes,
Parsons.
How could I forget?
The lager, yeah.
That was wonderful, Chesk beer, and it's a big facility, and it looks like it would be a great place to have a
And
meeting.
exactly as we said before, all these historic places turn into a meeting facility. The other good thing about Malta, let's not forget, we are English speaking, James. So
Yes.
it's easy for anyone to
And that's
communicate.
good, because I can't understand Maltese at all.
Oh,
It is a language that you guys speak that is just amazing, and yet you all speak English. So thank God for that.
yes. And because of our location too, you'll find that a lot of these companies, when they're holding these meetings, they have, clients coming from all over the world. So because of our location, and because we are located to any major hub, not just Europe, but Asia, Africa. So wherever your client is coming from, flying into a local, like a Mediterranean destination where you can. It kind of works for any global conference.
No, it is. It is absolutely amazing, and everybody speaks English. And again, Maltese. I'd love to learn Maltese one day. It's interesting.
We'll try. First, we'll drink some wine, and then I'll teach you.
Okay, we'll go on the next trip. Now, my final question here is, first of all, is there anything else you want to tell our travel advisors out there about Malta? And the second is, where can they go to learn more about Malta? Websites, things like that.
Yes, we have a great Travel Agent Academy course, and it's travelacademy.com, and you can find the Malta portion for it. It takes 20 minutes to 20 to 30 minutes, very informative, and it kind of highlights the main aspects of Malta and how to sell it. Again, it has a little bit for everyone. So it's like it attracts a lot of niche markets, whether it's religious, whether it's wellness, whether it's history and culture, whether it's sun and sea and soft adventure. There's a little bit for everyone. Great for solo travelers, great for family and, multi-generational travel. So you're going to come to Malta, you're going to make a friend. The hospitality, as you've experienced now, I've always told you about it. You're going to meet an interesting character, and people still have time to talk to each other. It's just, you're not just taking a picture away from it, you're taking an experience.
Absolutely.
So this is what's special about Malta.
And what is the URL for your tourism?
Oh, visitmalta.com.
That's easy. I should have known that one.
Very easy.
Well, Michelle, again, I want to thank you for, first of all, finally getting me to go to Malta this year. I had a wonderful time, and I'm definitely raring to go back because there's so much more to see there. 4 days that I did, almost 5, was not enough. And I really enjoyed, you guys took me all around, all over the place on both island on Malta and also Gozo. And it was really just an eye-opener for me, and just so much history, so much culture. It's a beautiful Mediterranean island. Valletta, I don't feel I had enough time in. I wanted to spend time there. And then there were so many other places that I just didn't get to go to. It was a great overview, but it's one of those places you can keep going back to. And if you're there on a cruise, if you send your clients on a cruise, I think they're going to find out very quickly that they might want to return on their own and go stay for a while, because there is so much to do and see. So again, Michelle, I want to thank you for taking the time today.
Thank you.
It's always good to see you. We've been friends for a long time, and really, you finally did. It takes some doing. People got to, you got to go to Malta. You got to go to Malta. I'm like, yeah, I'll do it. And finally, I did, and I was so happy that I did.
I'm glad you did, James. And you're welcomed anytime.
I'm James Shillinglaw, and this is Insider Travel Report. Go to Malta.